This is an M-7B2 at a local American Legion post in my hometown. It's a fairly good example of World War II technology and how the United States used similar components to build their armed forces during World War II. As can be seen, this has the same chassis as a M4A3 Ford-powered Sherman tank. Still has the front nose and tracks on it. Moving around, we can see the vertical volute spring suspension that all of these vehicles had. They never had the HVSS system of later M4 Sherman tanks. They kept the older style heavy-duty vertical volute spring suspension. Of interest is this one has extended track bill connectors attached to it. Moving on around, we can see the rear end, the idler, the rear deck, on the rear deck here we can see the exhaust for the Ford GAA engine, which sadly in this unit is no longer installed. On this back panel would be installed track tensioner, shovel, crowbar, pickaxe, and other pioneer tools that were needed by the crew. Looking on the back deck, you can see the air intakes and cooling grill for the huge Ford V8 engine. As I mentioned earlier, this is a M-7B2 unit, which means that it's basically an M-7B1 or Ford-powered unit that during the Korean War had the gun raised by about a foot. They did this in order to give the howitzer greater elevation, since in the original units the back end of the howitzer would hit the floor before you could get it up to the same elevation that the towed 105 would have. This modification included raising the howitzer, adding a piece of armored steel underneath where that plate is right now to cover up the original opening, and also to raise the anti-aircraft position up the corresponding amount. Here we are inside this M7 Priest. As you can see, the interior is fairly intact. The vandals have done some of their work, but here we have the driver's position with what's left of the instrument panel. What would have been mounted right above, right here, would have been the howitzer sighting instruments, a case for holding them, and 3 rifle racks. We also have seats here, as well as ready racks for 105 howitzer ammunition. At the center of the fighting compartment we have the master junction box, as well as the engine oil cooler. The diamond plate floor is removable, and underneath is the battery boxes, stowage, and additional ammunition. As can be seen, the M-7B2 was a modification of the M-7B1. You can see the angle iron that was built up to raise the howitzer by about 12 to 14 inches in order to allow it to have a greater elevation of fire. Also, you can see the added support needed to stabilize the weapon when it was raised that high. Back over here in the fighting compartment, you can see the transmission and transfer casing with the steering gears. This was shared by all Sherman vehicles and was interchangeable, so this transmission and front end could be taken out of this vehicle and swapped into a Sherman tank, another Priest, or even an M10 or M36 quite easily. The teeth of the M37 or the M7 was the M1 105 howitzer. This one is still in the vehicle. However, it's been demilled by having the breech block welded into the or the sliding block welded into the breech block. Let me get up here so we can get a good overall view of the fighting compartment. When the howitzer was raised, the anti-aircraft machine gun pulpit had to be raised as well, so you can see the addition of a second story, or if you will, or a third story of armor above the original first and second layers. The floor also had to be raised to allow gunners to be able to fire their weapons effectively. On M7s and M-7B1s, that raised platform is not there. On this particular example, some of the controls are missing, such as the elevation hand wheels on both the gunner's side and on the driver's side. But overall, this unit is fairly complete on the inside. One thing of interest that is still here are the fixed fire extinguishers for the engine compartment. And this is the M-7B2 that's in my hometown. There are a couple others in the area, and hopefully I'll have them posted with a more detailed video shortly. Thank you.